Today it's another one of those instruments that should really make you think what we're being charged for ukuleles. Keep watching. Yeah, GotAUkulele returns after a short break with the summary video review to the full written review that's always linked below these videos. That's where there's much more information. I've been away for a couple of weeks, so there's a few more thank yous than normal to give you. These are people who've very kindly donated to help keep this site going, because I don't get paid by the brands or stores. They'd just be adverts. I can only do this with the help of people like this. You'll find some links in the descriptions of the video and on the main GotAUkulele website as to how you can do that, buy me a coffee and that kind of stuff. It's very, very much appreciated. You can also help out for free by subscribing to the channel. If you hit the bell symbol, you'll get notified when I put a new video up like this one. Okay, here's a brand. Featured them several times before. They've always done well on the overall scores. Not solely because, but largely because of what amazing value for money they represent. And as I said in that introduction, really make you question what we're being charged for some instruments. And the reason for them being very good value is that I think all of the ones that I've looked at have come from the same production line that were previously making Ohana brand ukuleles, and they're pretty much largely identical with just a different name on the headstock. That's not to say they've copied them. They are just using the same production line that Ohana must have given up or didn't license or restrict. So they're just using the same line and putting out the same instruments for a fraction of the price. The brand, distributed in the UK by a really useful music company, and the brand is called Clearwater. And this is the UCW5T tenor, part of a series of instruments from soprano through to baritone that are all made of laminate willow. And I mentioned that Ohana production line. The Ohana 15WG series is pretty much identical to this, largely identical by bar one thing that I will come on to. And they were very, very, very popular, very well liked. All laminate instruments, these ones. Laminate willow for the top, back and sides. It's a wood I've never seen before other than on that Ohana. It's very, very striking with these sort of dark and pale grain patterns. Two pieces on the top, back and sides, pretty nicely book matched largely. The sides a little bit less so, but I'm not going to complain too much when you hear the price. But what I will say, purely subjective, the looks of this grain of wood don't really do it for me. Bit too orangey yellowy as well. But it is certainly very distinctive and different, and you turn up at your uke club with one of these, people say, oh, what wood's that? And I think a few people would guess that it was something like willow, because I don't know what willow looks like beyond the bark. Anyway, that's what it is. Bit too orangey, yellowy for me. Otherwise, a double bout traditional shape, exactly the same as the Ohanas. The bridge is identical to the Ohana bridge. The wood type is not specified, stained hardwood, I think, but that shape is exactly the same as the one as on the Ohana Willow series. Fitted with a straight-topped bone saddle with nice tapering down the sides, all very, very tidy down there, very nice. The one change from the Ohana is that the Ohanas came in a gloss finish on the body, and having seen one of those in the flesh, I think the gloss really helps this sort of wood grain. This is a satin, and it just doesn't pop and shine as much. And in fact, in places, well, not in places, just overall, looks a little bit more agricultural to me, a little bit more unfinished. The gloss really sets it off on the Ohana. It's the only difference that I can find. Okay, there's a slight difference in the inlay around the sound hole, which is the only decoration. Wooden inlay, the one on the Ohana is slightly different, but, you know, it's neither here nor there. But as I say, satin finish looks a little bit unfinished to me in that sense. I don't mean it's a bad finish. The finish is very, very even, thin and smooth all over. I just don't think it brings out the grain in the way that I'd like it to. Inside is very tidy, regular braces, notch linings, not much more to say, no mess in there at all. Nice, thin laminate top. The neckwood isn't specified, neither is the Ohana, but I suspect it's the same, possibly a mahogany or a kume or something. There's a joint at the heel, there is a joint at the headstock, but I defy anybody to find it. It took me ages to spot it, but there is one there, very, very well hidden. And it's got the same sort of Ohana profile, fairly generic really, slightly rounded but slightly flattened, 36mm nut, 28 from G2A, very average really. So that's that. One positive though is because this is a satin finished instrument rather than gloss. The Ohana has a gloss neck. This is a satin neck, so this is much smoother and faster on the hands. So this is where satin wins. It doesn't win here, but it does win there. Fingerball wood, not specified. It's too pale compared to the bridge. There's a mismatch in colour there that always jars me. But to be fair, it is very smooth, very, very well conditioned. No flaws with it at all. It's not edge bound, so you get these little fill-in marks, which are the ends of the frets, which I always think looks a little bit untidy. 19 of those, 14 to the body. No sharp edges, but it's close. It's close here. They're getting sharp here, but I've played much, much worse. Standard pearly position dots face out at 5, 7, 10, 12 and 15. And like other Clearwaters that I don't really understand, no side dots. Really easy thing to add. No side dots at all. Beyond the bone nut, headstock is the same, Ohana shape headstock, exactly the same, with that sort of curvy top. It's faced in more of the willow wood, and the Clearwater logo, a little bit scruffily applied as a silver screen print. One thing that does tend to change on Clearwater instruments to the Ohana versions is that they seem to downgrade the tuners a bit. So really surprising, when you see the price of this one, that they didn't on this one. These are Grover. These are Grover open gears, exactly the same as you get on the Ohana. Really, really good tuners. No complaints with those at all. They're not top-end Grovers, like you'd see on a Canalea or original Canaleas, but they're Grovers. They're very, very good quality. And you don't get anything else with it but a set of Aquila strings. You can get pod cases and gig bags from them for a relatively nominal extra cost. But this cost is what this is all about, because I said at the off that Clearwater make these instruments which are pretty much identical to Ohana counterparts for a lot less money. They're always a lot less money. The Ohana TK15WG, which is essentially the same as this but with a gloss finish, were about £160. The Clearwater UCW5T, £71.99. 70 quid. 70 quid. That's just that's remarkable regardless. We're into that sort of Amazon, what brand name is that stuff that's come over from China. This is made in China, you know that. But Clearwater, a well-known name. It's in that, well, you know, these new tenner penny brands that start up and they throw in the kitchen sink with everything, and you get a tuner and a cloth and a strap and a blah, 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 blah. That sort of money, £71.99 for an instrument which is the same as an Ohana that was £160. Something, I don't know how they do it. Who's at fault? Ohana? The rest of the ukulele world for keeping their prices up there? I'm not against businesses making money, but if they can sell these for £71.99, what does that say about the brands that are selling things that are the same sort of spec for twice the price? You tell me. The build quality is really good. The finish is really good. I'd prefer the gloss. Slight like mismatch in the colour here, but that's a minor point. Really, really good tuners and an amazing price. 71 quid. 72 quid. Remarkable, in fact. So well made, nice, fairly light, 620 grams, feels well made, feels good in the hands, balances really nicely too. There were a lot of positives about those Ohanas. People liked the crisp tone that they had. So this is the same. It's got to be the same because it's exactly the same instrument, just a different name on it. Gloss can change tone over satin. Some say for the better, some say for the worse. Oh, that's way out. Come on, why was I tuning my third string to a B? You think I'd know by now, wouldn't you? Stretching. These strings are still stretching massively. I've not played this a huge amount while I've been away. First up, the volume. Alright, not the loudest instrument I've heard, but perfectly passable. The sustain, there, it's alright too. Again, not the most sustaining instrument I've ever heard, but perfectly passable again. And it is crisp and clear in tone. All those notes are there. I'm just going to keep checking this tuning. Yeah, that C is flying out. Really, really stretchy C string. But I like how clear. It's a little one-dimensional. It certainly sounds like a laminate instrument, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There are some laminate instruments that do sound like rubber bands. This is really stretching, these strings. They sound like rubber bands on a tissue box. This doesn't. But just keep coming back to that price in your mind. Pretty enough. Tuning again. £72. What do you want for 72 quid? I play a lot of those sort of Amazon specials, those deal of the day instruments, and they usually leave me really flat. I'm not saying that this is blowing me away like I'm sitting here with a Kawea or a Koaloha. Of course I'm not. It's a 72 quid instrument. But if you're buying a first instrument for yourself, or a gift for a child or someone like that, or a loved one, and you don't have a lot of money to spend, this is really good. Okay, the looks aren't totally for me. If you like the Willow look, well, I'd say anything from Clearwater is probably worth a look. The reason being is you're basically buying an Ohana quality instrument for half the price, and why wouldn't you do that? The pricing is remarkable. I think it sounds pretty. Just sounds all right, actually. Not a horror show at all. Some really nice appointments like these tuners as well. But £72. Ramble. Clearwater UCW5T laminate Willow Tenor, also available in soprano, concert, and baritone for equally decent prices as well. Thanks to the really useful music company in the UK who've let me borrow this. They're the people you buy them from. They're the only place you'll get them. People always ask me about international shipping. They don't do that themselves, but you can go through your own country's eBay. They've got a store on eBay that will do the international shipping for you. Obviously, if you're in America, it's going to cost you a bit more than 72 quid. But it's still a very good deal, isn't it? Yeah, really, really good deal. Thanks for letting me look at this one. Enjoyed it a lot. Still got a bit of a cough from summer cold. Okay, Thanks for your ongoing support. Bit of a rambling one, that one. I'm always out of sort of sync when I go away for a week and I miss the review. Kind of forget how to do them and the order that I've got to do things. So sorry about that. But I'm back. Got something really nice coming up. I don't know if it's next week or the week after. Some really unusual things as well that I've been trying to get hold of for ages for you to see. I'm really busy now right through until my summer holidays, which are end of August. So I've got lots more coming your way. For now, thanks again for watching. Have a great week ahead, and well, good luck to England tonight in the European Cup final. Quite a result to get there. I hope they do well, if that's your thing. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Just get off and go and get the video processed, Barry. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.